Let me just kind of start by qualifying. My name's Chuck. I am an addict. I came through Gustafson leave December the 4th, and I got kicked out. They caught me stealing at a Walgreens, so they sent me to another detox. Then I went to Recovery by the Sea after that. I was on Suboxone. I went to a halfway. In that halfway, I decided to get off Suboxone. I went to another rehab. When I was getting out of that rehab, they was going to put me on the streets, so I called and asked for help. And I went to another rehab. And in that rehab, in that moment, man, I decided that no matter what, I wasn't going to stop. You know, when I first came down here, it was the scariest thing that I ever had to do. I'm from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I came down here. I didn't know anybody. It was like moving to China, you know. How was I going to get by? I came down with one pair of pants and 3 shirts. I would stand in the shower at night and wash my pants. That's why I dress well today. Because I promised myself that I would never have to worry about that again. You know, they say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. You know, how many of you made the phone call to come to rehab? How many of you felt like you didn't love yourself at that point?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you, if you didn't love yourself, you'd have never made that phone call. You had to love yourself some to pick up the phone and ask for help. Why else would you do it? You want it better for yourself, right? So, with me, you know, it was all about what was validating me out in the world. I was looking for validation in women. I was looking for validation in drugs. I was looking for validation in sex. I was looking for validation from anything but myself. I never had accepted myself. So I started moving. I decided at that point I was going to take the stop button out. You know, I had this problem. I wasn't getting the endorphin rushes. I wasn't, you know, doing anything to excite myself. And I'm the person that if you take me and you put me in a dry town where there's no drugs, I'm going to find the drugs. How many of you are like that? Yeah? Okay, so I'm also the person, if you take me and put me in a dry time where there's no dreams, I'm going to find the dream because I'm a chaser, right? How many of y'all are chasers? All right. So I'm here to tell you that if you change your mindset today and you start chasing the right things and turn that character defect into a character asset, you can be successful. Right now, I will be a pastor in September. I'm taking 3 classes for that. I'm a 4.0 GPA student at Palm Beach State College on the transfer program to FAU. I work 2 jobs. I'm the subcommittee secretary for H&I in the Palm Coast area. And I am the GSR for my home group, back to the basics at the meeting place. I'm a busy man. When I was chasing my drugs, I was a busy man. If I start sitting still and I go back to a 9-to-5 life and I'm just sitting around doing the same monotonous stuff that I used to do, I will go back to the things I used to do. Okay, so when I came through the rehab, there was a group, the last rehab I went through, there was a group of guys and they were complaining, man, they won't take us to meetings. They won't do this, they won't do that. I started buying into it, so I went up to this tech and I said, hey man, you know what, they're right. And he looked at me and he said one thing that changed my whole experience in rehab. He said, are you really gonna take that poison? Are you gonna buy into what they're saying? Are you gonna be like everybody else? Because the statistics say that 2 of y'all are gonna make it. When they told me that, I started looking around for the other person. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was going to. When they told me that, I knew I was going to make it. I looked at somebody one day and, you know, this is about mental health, and I said, man, you know, I think I got mental health issues. And they said, oh, it's all in your head. Y'all get that? Okay, I've been working on that all day, guys. But, you know, if you don't control your mind will control you. So, they tell you, speak positive affirmations to yourself. He just said, if you look in the mirror and you smile, it's going to smile back. So when I wake up, and you can ask my girlfriend over here, when I wake up, I look at my mirror and it says, you are beautiful. You are amazing. You are success. Not I am successful, but I am success. I am success. I am are going to be the 2 most powerful words that you've got. If you want to be something, you claim it now and watch it manifest. Amen. If you want to be a drug addict, There you go. I'll tell you another secret. When I was in court one time, this judge told me, he said, you are the average of your 5 closest friends. What do you think you're going to be doing if you're hanging out with 5 drug addicts? Probably going to be doing drugs. Today, my best friends are doctors, attorneys, professors at my college. My girl, she's a professional singer, musician. We play music together. I've surrounded myself with successful people. There's 3 things I don't do. I don't put up with people who aren't leveling me up, stealing my peace, or changing up on me. Okay? Make sure you choose the right people moving forward if you want to be successful. Listen, man, I know what it's like. I was laying on a church step, and I was pushing that last bump into my arm and praying. I said, God, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you love me. I don't know if you'll even help me. But if you will, I need help. And I died. I overdosed right there on the church step. And I woke up to some stranger putting Narcan in me. I was doing methamphetamines. I don't do fentanyl. But I died. So I got up and I walked back to my house, and I got a phone call from a girl I dated when I was 17 years old. I'm 51. I was 17. Hadn't heard from her since we dated. We lived in Texas at the time. She called me. She said, Chuck, I live in Arkansas now. I need you to come sit with me. I'm going through surgery. I got nobody to stay with me. And I was like, wow. So, like the other man said, I got out. I got me some more dope. This was December 1st. December 2nd is my daughter's birthday. On December 2nd, I woke up in a hospital room. I looked over and I saw Erica. And I said, where am I? And who are you? Because I didn't remember. And, she said, Chuck, it's me, Erica. And then the clouds started to wear off. I sit there and stared at the floor for about an hour. And I looked up and I said, if I stay here, I'm dead. And she said, I know. Your phone rang. I picked it up. There's a plane ticket waiting on you. She just had a rod put in her leg. She drove me to the airport. And that's where I met this young lady here. A year and a half ago. So, that they say an addict is a man or a woman whose life is completely controlled by drugs. I'm going to tell you this. I may be different than everybody else, but mine is not. My life is not controlled by drugs. Now, I'm an addict. I smoke cigarettes. I have some poor behaviors. Yes, in some senses, I'm an addict. But drugs no longer control my life. Because I learned to control my mind. I tell myself every day, I am success. I tell myself every day, when I want to give up, I tell myself I can do it. You know what I mean? You can do it. I'm no different than you guys. I'm no different than you. We're all the same, man. Everybody do me a favor real quick. Look at the person next to you. Touch them on the shoulder and say you're beautiful. Come on, don't be scared. You wasn't scared when you was putting that needle in your arm. Come on. All right? There you go. Everybody's laughing. They say joy is good medicine. Joy is good medicine, guys. So in the rooms, we hug, right? We hug, we tell each other we love each other, and I thought that was the weirdest thing. Man, back up off me, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? That physical touch, it produces oxytocin in the body. Oxytocin is the same chemical that a mother produces the minute she drops that child out of her womb. It's a connection chemical. So make sure when you're around people that you see that can level you up, make sure you're giving them a little oxytocin boost. When you tell people you're beautiful, it makes them smile, man. What happens when you smile? We produce dopamine. Positive mental attitude. Man, speak positivity over your life every day. Man, my life is amazing today. Listen, I live in a house in Loxahatchee. I've got a motorcycle, an SUV. I've got a swimming pool in my backyard. I'm not in rehab. Man, I was not stopping. There's going to be those days, guys, where you don't feel like doing it. Motivation doesn't work. Motivation is not a tool. It's a good way to start. It's like the kindling. But you want to do something, it's discipline, man. You got to do it even when you don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to that moment where you're sitting there and you're contemplating, man, I want to get high. I want to get high. And it's just you and the drug. Or you and the guy who's offering you a free sample on the side of the road. That happened to me the other day. You sure you don't want a free sample? I was like, hell no, bro. My motorcycle, let me get the hell out of here. Yeah, I know what's next. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and expecting a different result.
Okay, so let me tell you my insanity. I was doing the same thing over and over again and knowing what the result was. I didn't care. I'd gotten so far down to rock bottom, I got a jackhammer and started hammering, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you this. Find a dream, man. Find your dream. And if what you're doing isn't making you happy, you're living the wrong dream. If you find something you love to do for work, you'll never work a day in your life. I know that. I know that. I love doing what I do today. So not only am I those things, I'm also Student Government Association. I'm the outreach chairperson. Man, I've got so many damn jobs. I got more jobs than Kevin Gates. You know what I'm saying? I don't get tired. Because my dream's too big. Yes. If your why is big enough, your how is easy. Does that make sense? Yeah. If your why is big enough, your how will be easy. I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. I just want to tell all of you, all of y'all back there, I love you guys. There ain't nothing you can do about it. There ain't nothing you can do about it. God loves you. There's nothing you can do about it. Love yourself. Find the biggest dream you can. Reassure yourself every day. Be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind. That's biblical. I didn't preach Jesus here to you today. I felt like coming out here and giving a sermon. But I don't want to offend nobody. But I felt like coming out here and talking about Jesus. But whoever your God is, if he's not a loving God, get a different one. And if you don't have a God, lean on the people around you to be good, orderly direction. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me know.